St. Ben's. The Bears versus the Cards. St. Charles gets it up in the neutral zone. Over the blue line, offside is called. Larsh on the draw, gets it in the zone. It's knocked back for Crossway. Crossway gets the red line, dumps it in. Holden follows up. Goes to the net, gets it for Larsh. Back for McLean. Chips that in, but St. Ben's heads out with it. St. Ben's gets the red line, dumps it in. Behind the net, Crossway takes it around. Off the boards, or O'Kane chips it up. In comes Holden, all alone. Tucks, looks like the goalie stretched out a stick at the last second to block that. Larsh battles behind the net, help from O'Kane. Holden helping out now. Holden takes the puck, gets it across for McLean on the point. McLean sends it back in the corner. Now it's back to the blue line. Daniel on the backhand, chips it in. Holden picks it up, comes in the high slot, skates down, gets a shot, deflected out of bounds. 13:33 to go in the first. Different format for the officials today. We got 2 referees and 1 linesman. That's enough people to cover the ice. Now St. Ben's ships it up, kept in by Gilbert. Young puts it down low. Battle on the sidewall. St. Ben's takes it out, dumps it in. Behind the net, Markowicz works at it. He's got some pressure. Help from Noble, he takes the puck. Fires it up for Young. Young sends it across ice. Judd gets it into the zone. Gets past one. Can't get the shot. Puts it out front. Rebound from Young goes over the net. St. Ben's takes it back. Ships it up to the neutral zone. Gilbert on it. Gets some help. And in comes St. Ben's. They take it back. Pass in front. Now we're got possession. Gilbert coming up the side with it. Takes it out of the zone. Chip back in. Judd blocks it. Takes it in the zone. Gets a shot. Goalie makes a save. Rebound goes behind the net. Picked up by Domenico Malafrena. Chips that up. Offside is called. There's a pass in, so they're going to bring it back a bit. It's like almost more here. It's like more.
Yeah.
Okay, off the draw, it's at the blue line. Picked up by Marshfield, dumps it into the zone. Puck comes up to the sidewall. It's chipped out. Ice and waved off. He picks it up. Gets it for Burns, up for Marshfield. He takes it out of the zone. At the blue line, it gets held up by St. Ben's. We're offside at the moment. St. Ben's gets it out anyways. Now the back in our zone. Pelche had it, knocked away by Burns. Now Billard and Marshfield battle, and they get the puck out. Pressure. Now Cousinado gets it for Pelche for the Bears. But in comes Wiersbicky. He gets a puck in the corner, tips it up for Gauchi, over for Marshfield. Marshfield up through center, finds Billard. Billard gets the red line, dumps it in. Back at the blue line, Wiersbicky to Gauchi, his shot, saved, rebounds loose. Put back out front by Larsh, and the goalie hangs on to that one. 11-11 to go in the first. It's taken out by Ben to our zone. Their shot off the blocker. We got McCann in net tonight for St. Charles. or O'Kane sends it back for Peugeot, over for Crossway. Now Holden chips that up, and O'Kane to Larsh, and we're back in St. Ben's zone. Puck comes out the other way. St. Ben's 2-on-2, back checker. They get a shot, that goes wide. Crossway battles in the corner. Two St. Ben's players get a shot that goes across. Wow. A couple of players bump into the net. Puck comes back into St. Ben's zone. Holden's pass blocked. He keeps it going, works it out front, gets a shot. Goalie makes a save. St. Ben's chips it up center. They're in the zone. Crossway gets the loose puck. We ran into a sea of blue right there. Back for McLean. McLean off the boards. For Crossway, sends that cross ice for Nobes. Oh, off his skate. It's back now for Markowicz. Markowicz to McLean. McLean up for Judd. Takes it into the zone. Tries to get that across. It's deflected behind the net. St. Ben sends it back around. Judd puts it out front. Shot from Noble, saved. Back to the blue line, Markowicz down low for Judd. Judd back for Markowicz. Markowicz fires that in the zone. Puck comes out of the zone. Markowicz gets it back into the zone. Pressure from the Cards. Young gets it. Can't get a shot from Judd. Puck's back to the blue line. Markowicz keeps it in. Over for Judd. Gets past the player. Back around, down low. Back to the blue line for Markowicz. Markowicz across the blue. Gets a shot through traffic, deflected. Noble tries to keep it in, but St. Ben's picks it up and heads out with it. St. Ben's shot, glove save, rebound, saved again. Now Markowicz chips it up, kept in at the blue line. Noble gets the puck, or no, Markowicz gets the puck. Gets a shot, pad comes out, rebound from Noble. Saved. It's back to the blue line. And out it goes. Gilbert slows him down. Gets the puck back. Alright, I just noticed the camera's shaking a lot. I'm going to try to fix that up. The fan is blowing it. Gauchi gets in, nice little shot. Good enough little shot. Puck gets to the blue line. Wiersbicki keeps it in. Back to Wiersbicki. Comes across the blue, gets a shot. Goalie hangs on to that. Puck comes out. No icing called. We top it out. Gauchi chips up in the neutral zone. St. Ben's fires that back on net, so no icing. Wiersbicki chips it up. It's kept in at the blue line. Shot goes down low. Battle. Peltier comes out, gets a shot deflected away. Wiersbicki working at it down low. Still team. Peltier for the Bears passes out front for Cusinado. He couldn't get enough on that shot. And Gilbert gets it up for Marshfield. But it's knocked back for Wiersbicki. Now Marshfield takes it out of the zone. Gets a shot deflected off his shin pad. Carson keeps it in. Comes back out and Carson gets it right back into the zone. Foul behind the net. Here comes Billard. Tries to get that back for Gilbert. Now he hands it off for Carson. Carson back for Billard. He walks in, gets a shot, gets a player. Battle on the side, Marsh in the mix, but in comes St. Ben's. They take the puck out, they get into the zone. Pass in front, couldn't connect. Now Billard with some pressure. Comes back now for Daniel. Daniel around for Will. Knocked back for Dan. Pass picked up by Larsh. He gets that to Holden. He sends that across for O'Kane. They stay onside. Get the puck in the zone. At the sidewall, it comes out for Crossway. Over for Burns. Burns chips it up. Comes back to Burns. Burns finds O'Kane at the blue line. He carries that in. Fires a shot. A little high. Holden working at the rebound. Gets it back for Crossway. Shot a little wide. It's back now for Burns. Burns losing an edge in the battle. Plays the body and Crossway gets it back. Shot fired. Save from McCann. Rebound picked up by Burns. Sends that around the boards. Puck cleared out by O'Kane. St. Ben's dumps it in. Bounces off the boards for Crossway. Comes around behind the net. Chips up the boards. Behind the net. Pressure. Comes up the side. St. Ben's gets the loose puck out of the zone. No, in comes Judd. Gets it back at the blue line. Skates across. Sends it down low for Young. He's behind the net. Tries to get that out front. He's tied up. Getting some help. Puck comes up the side for St. Ben's. They dump it in the zone. All right, hit behind the net. Puck up for Noble into the zone. He drops it for Liam. Chipped in, kicked out front. St. Ben's picks it up. Noble ties him up behind the net. Coming around the other way. St. Ben's gets into the zone. Shot over the net. At the blue line, St. Ben's keeps it in, but they put it out of bounds, so we get a face-off in our zone. Off the draw, chipped up the glass and out. High stick is called. We'll get a face-off. Should be back where they touched it. Yeah. Close enough. Face-off comes back into St. Charles zone. Markowicz up for Billard. Pelche puts that in. Now Marshfield on it. Close call there. Battle on the side. Pelche gets it for St. Ben's. Takes it behind the net. Pass out front. Can't connect with anybody. Cleared away by McLean. Now Carson takes it out of the zone. Carson to St. Ben's. Gets it to Billard. Billard through the 5-hole. Pelche to Billard. 1-0 St. Charles. It's chipped back into our zone. Where's Bicky picks it up. Where's Bicky behind the net. Over for Gilbert. Up for Holden. He gets that over for O'Kane. O'Kane gets it out of the zone. Into St. Ben's territory. Holden into the corner. Gets there first. Gets over for Larsh. Larsh in the corner. Cycles it back for Holden. Holden's tied up behind the net. He works it over to the corner. Larsh intercepts a pass, gets that to O'Kane. O'Kane's shot just a little wide, trying to nifty move. Holden gets the rebound, puts it in front for Larsh. Can't get a shot. Keeps it in the zone though. Out. St. Ben's though gets it out afterwards. They get a shot, it goes wide. Rebound stays behind the net. Pass, shot goes behind the net again. Where's Bicky to O'Kane. Back for Where's Bicky. Turns up the boards for O'Kane again. Comes back for Where's Bicky. Couldn't connect. Now they battle on the corner. Up for O'Kane. O'Kane up the ice, sends it cross ice for Holden. He gets in the zone. Pass in front for Gilbert, and Gilbert puts it in at the last second. 1.5 minutes to go in the first.
But I start up.
Crossweight sends it up into the zone. Pressure from Young gets that to Judd. Judd in front to Noble all alone. His shot is saved. .118 to go in the first. 2-0 for the Cards. Whoopsie, that's what the mascot gets it. Judd gets it off the draw, takes it behind the net, into the corner. Battle down low, Noble helping out. Noble gets it back to the blue line. Burns fires a shot. Can't get through traffic. St. Ben's chips it back, carries it out. They fire it in the zone. McCann plays it around for Crossweight. Up for Judd. There we go. We get in the zone shot from Young. Save. 30 seconds to go. St. Ben's chips it into our zone. Judd picks up the puck with 20 seconds on the clock. Chips it out of the zone. Heads up the ice with Billard. Cuts in, gets past one, gets hooked. Gets in front for Noble, but St. Ben's gets in the way. 5 seconds. Noble dumps it in. That's going to be the end of the first. Yeah. Let's get away from it. That's good.
They were talking.
Oh, I saw him have a little chat. All right, here we go. Second period action. Gonna try a little lower to stay out of the fan. Marshfield gets it into the zone. Back for Billard. Billard across for McLean. McLean across the blue line gets a shot, deflected into the corner. Marshfield with some pressure. Puck comes up through center. Andy knocks it out of the air. He's onside, takes it into the zone. Uses the boards for support. Pass out front. Picked up by the goalie. Comes loose, but whistle went. It's all good. He's been better, but he's good.
It's that one guy that he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Okay, it's chipped up to the blue line. Markowicz keeps it in, but St. Ben's gets it out in the neutral zone. Markowicz keeps battling. In comes Holden. Nice hit from Holden. Puck gets back in the zone and chip it out. St. Ben sends it back in. They're offside. They're back onside. Behind the net. Markowicz dumps it out. St. Ben's gets it back in the neutral zone. They send it in. Won't make it for icing. Gilbert with it now. Fires up center. Finds Larsh. Larsh turns. Enters the zone. Drops it for Holden. He gets a shot. Oh, he put that over to O'Kane. O'Kane gets the shot and the rebound, but the goalie shuts the door. That was real nice.
If I got that, I would have missed about 10 meters.
Jackson gets it to Liam, back to the blue line for Wiersbicki. Shot blocked. Now St. Ben's enters their zone. Shot goes wide. Gilbert after it. For Young, looking at the blue line, that shot over the net. Out front, Noble finds a loose puck. Gets it over to Liam. Liam comes up through the neutral zone. Gets it into the corner. Back to the blue line. Wiersbicki's got it. Gets it to Young. Young kicks it in front. Knocked away by St. Ben's. They go for a skate through the neutral zone. Behind the net. Wiersbicki squeezes in. They get a shot. Save. 2 saves from McCann. Rebound. Another save. Now Younger hands it off to Noble. Noble takes it into the zone. Back to Young. Tries to get that back down low. Can't connect, and then comes Noble, picks up the puck. High slot, shot in front, goalie makes a save. It's loose in some feet. St. Ben's clears it away. In comes Noble, he gets that back to Wiersbicki. Wiersbicki regroups in the neutral zone. Over for Gilbert. Gilbert up for Gauchi. We're back in the zone. He drives the net, gets it over for Young. He's on his backhand, turns, gets it in front for Gilbert. Oh, Gauchi gets robbed with a glove save from the St. Ben's goalie. Oh, we get tripped up there. We're going to be on the power play now.
That was close.
Was it? That looks like he got his glove on it. Long day.
Oh, do you think you could bring me to St. Charles at 7 for the senior girls volleyball?
A little after 7. All right, off the draw. It's set back to the blue line. Marshfield keeps it in. Now it's over for Crosswhite. He walks across the blue. Surveys, gets it over for Gauchi. Carson, back for Crosswhite. He gets a shot through traffic. Save is made. Loose puck. Pass across for Marshfield. Sends that around the boards for Carson. Carson in the corner. Skates out. Hands it back to Daniel. Daniel gets a shot through traffic, hits the goalie in the helmet, it sounded like. Puck bounces back for Crosswhite. Another shot, just a little high on that one. Now Gauchi gets it back. Cuts in front, gets a shot, hits a shin pad. Marshfield's there to keep it in. Back for Carson. Carson over for Marshfield. He gets a shot through traffic, big save. Back to the blue line for Crosswhite. Carson across for Marshfield. He walks in, gets a shot. Goalie makes another save. Larsh battles, gets it over for Marshfield. We got 1 minute to go in the power play as Crossweight walks across the blue line. And then Marshfield back to Crossweight. Gauchi tries to get that across. Cusinado intercepts it and sends it out. All right, Judd takes it out into the zone. Corner, hits the brakes, sends it back to the blue line for Crossweight. Crossweight gets in front, over for Noble. Back for Crossweight. Judd, Crossweight, shot fired, deflected. It's loose. Gilbert tries to get that back to the blue line. Can't connect. Now Crossweight gets it back for 9 seconds of the power play. Back to 5-on-5. Noble's got the puck in the neutral zone. Over the blue. Gets in front, gets a shot. Goalie makes a save, rebound, held on to. Off the draw, St. Ben's takes it behind the net. Up the boards to Pelche, he gets that out of the zone. Now McLean with the puck. Finds Young at the red line, in front of the red line, gets it in to avoid the icing. Goalie plays it, pressure. Puck comes out of the neutral zone for McLean, chips that back up. Cusinado sends it up for Pelche. St. Ben's up to the zone, shot over the net. Gauchi gets the loose puck in the St. Charles zone. Gets it back for Markowicz. Up for Noble. Noble into the zone. Gets past the defenders. Couldn't get a good shot off though. Goalie makes a save. Puck's loose in front. Judd, or no, so that's Gauchi, sorry. Gauchi's shot goes behind the net. Penalty coming up to St. Charles. Slashing is called against St. Charles. Noble gets a penalty, but he's injured right now, so he's being tended to by the trainer. Quinner's going to serve the penalty.
Some of the boards got hurt and he slashed the kid. Slashed.
Off the draw, it's loose. Billard finds it, chips it up to the blue line. It's kept in, but then in comes Gauchi. He takes it out. He's got Cusinado on top of him. It's back for Marshfield. His shot off the blocker goes behind the net. Pelche picks it up and goes for a skate for the Bears. Sends that across for Cusinado. Marshfield slows him down, but in comes St. Ben's. Over for Pelche, his backhand shot saved by McCann. And we get it back to St. Ben's to the blue line. Cusinado with a backdoor shot, just a little wide. Now Marshfield putting the pressure on. Cusinado picks up the puck, comes up to the neutral zone, chips it into the zone. Gilbert comes in for Charles, gets the puck behind the red line, fires it around the boards. Kept in by the Bears. They put that out front. Cusinado gets a shot, this time off the side of the net.
Got that one there.
Yeah, it was a little closer than the last one. Now the shot held on to by McCann. 8 minutes to go in the second period, 49 seconds in the penalty. 2-0 for the Cards. Alright, off the draw. Billard fires it all the way down on net. Goalie makes a save. Hands it off. Comes up through neutral zone. Loose puck picked up by St. Ben's. They get in, shot fired, big save from McCann. Puck comes back out front, cleared out by Billard. Now St. Ben's gets it up in the neutral zone. Billard finds the loose puck and fires it all the way in the zone. Bounces around, up to the boards.
Put your hands down.
St. Ben's to the blue line across. They get a shot through traffic. It doesn't connect. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. St. Ben's gets it to the high slot. In comes Larsh. He gets it up for Judd. Judd into the zone. Takes the puck to the side. Getting some pressure. Out comes St. Ben's. Larsh playing the body. Gets the puck back into the neutral zone. St. Ben's gets a shot on net. McCann sends it over for Daniel. Daniel gets past one. Hands it off to Larsh. Larsh enters the zone. Gets a shot just a little high. No, 13's Larsh. 5's Larsh. Now comes Pelche for the Bears into the zone. His shot saved by McCann. Battle in the corner, and Daniel comes out with it. Takes it behind the net. Chips it up for O'Kane. O'Kane gets it over the blue line to Holden. Holden enters Bear territory. Gets it back to Larsh. Larsh in front. Deflected by O'Kane, and the goalie makes a big save. Off the draw, everyone's tied up, puck goes down low. Marshfield to McLean. Back to Markovich. Back to McLean. Kept in by St. Ben's, but then Holden gets it out. St. Ben's gets it back in the neutral zone. They dump it in. Icing not called. The ref forgot that he's also a linesman today, so they're doing double duties. It's going to happen sometimes with different systems. Puck's back in our zone. They're offside. Back onside. Markovich takes it out over the red line. Dumps it in. Puck bounces behind the net. St. Ben's sends it up the boards. McLean's there to keep it in. He's got some pressure from Cusinato. In comes Marshfield. His shot blocked, but O'Kane's there for it. O'Kane in the corner, sends it back to the blue line. They send it back in the zone, but St. Ben's picks it up and heads the other way. In the corner, chips it up the boards, finds Judd. Judd works at it. He's got the pressure. Gets it up to Noble. Glad to see Noble's back out there. Missed a couple shifts, but he's back in action. Finds Judd. Pinned on the wall. Back for Liam. Liam tries to get that to Markovich. Markovich sends it down low for Jackson. Jackson behind the net for Liam. Liam in the corner, reverses, back to Jackson. He tries to get that out front. Clear to the blue line. Gilbert keeps that in. His shot is in! Gilbert with a 2-goal performance right now. Puts the Cards up 3-0.
Straight there. Yeah, who's punching?
Exactly. They send it in the zone. Gilbert, he takes it up to Judd. He chips it up center, off his skates. Now Domenico sends it back in for the Bears. Markovich sends it up center, kept in for the Bears. And now Gilbert comes behind the net. Up for Liam. Liam sends that cross ice for Young. Young into the zone. He's all alone. Nice little move. Gets past one. Gets in front. Can't get the shot, but in comes Gilbert. Sends that down low. And St. Ben's gets it out. St. called. Okay, shot on net is saved. Puck comes back out for Gilbert. Ships that into the neutral zone and bounces into St. Ben's territory. Bears get it back, and now in comes. They're going to call that headshot, yeah. See the goal I know it's not Dante. I saw him on the bench.
That's not Smash.
I must have know that. Who that is?
That's the elementary.
What was that thing? Shaw? Okay. Brock Gagne. All right, 4-minute power play for the Cards. Billard hands it off to Gauchi. He walks in. He sees the shot. Goalie makes a save. Yeah, it's gonna be Domenico and Morrow and Zach were all the same team with us for 2 years. Okay, Gilbert in the corner tries to get that in front for Carson. Couldn't connect on the one-timer. So Benz gets it back in our zone. Daniel takes it back behind the net to regroup. 3.5 minutes to go in the power play. Gets it over for Carson. Had a little trouble getting a handle on that. Cusinado with some pressure. We get that up to Billard. Billard into the zone. Gets that across for Carson. Carson back for Daniel. Back for Carson. Down low for Gilbert. In front, shot, blocked. Marshfield to Crossway. Crossway at the blue line, hands it off to Gauchi. Gauchi walks in, reverses, hands it off to Gilbert, back for Carson. Carson to Vinny. Vinny back to Carson. Carson to the blue line. Daniel back for Carson. Carson walks out and changes his mind. Behind the net for Vinny. Vinny gets up over for Marshfield. He gets caught in his feet. Cusinado sends it out for the Bears. Crossway gets the puck behind the net. Reach. Now Noble gets the puck, that's knocked away. 2 minutes to go in the power play. Crossway behind the net. It's up for Jackson. Jackson to neutral zone, cross ice to Liam. Liam gets in, hits the brakes in the corner, sends it back to the blue line. Crossway for Noble. Noble for Crossway. Fires a shot through traffic. It's blocked in front, rebounds loose. Bolden gets that to Liam. He can't score. It's cleared out by St. Ben's. McCann plays it behind the net. Noble picks it up. Noble to Holden. Holden into the zone. Tries to get that down low for Liam. Finds him there in the corner. Liam back to the blue line. Markovich across the blue line. Dodges the defender. Over for Jackson. Jackson's got a minute in the power play. Gets that to Liam. Somehow bounces over his stick. Liam gets it back in front. Over skates and That's the end of the second period. Thought he goes on fire. All right. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Judd gets it into the zone. For Noble. Back to Judd. Deflected away by St. Ben's. We're going to get face off in their zone.
What was that?
It went out of bounds.
Oh,
Who that guy was? Jimmy Mathis took a spot.
no, he's right there. Oh.
Shot on net. Save. Loose puck. Cleared out by St. Ben's. Markowicz up for Liam. Back for Markowicz. Got one for Liam. Gets in. Gets the shot. Blocker save. Back to 5-on-5. Puck comes out. That's going to be icing. Oh no. We could have played it, so they wave it off. Gilbert to Markowicz. Over for Noble. Noble gets it into the zone. Puck cleared out of bounds by St. Ben's.
Up in a little bit.
Puck's over for McLean. Chips it up to Larsh. He gets into the zone. There in the corner, O'Kane helping him out. Gets it back to Larsh. Back to O'Kane. Now McLean sends it back into the zone. Behind the net, St. Ben's fires up the boards. Cusinado gets it. Sends it up for Pelche. Pelche gets in. Can't get a shot off though. Pressure from Larsh. Pelche comes out with it. Now he gets a shot. McCann makes a save. All right, off to draw. Carson picks up the puck. Circles back into the zone, hands it off to Daniel. It's back for Daniel. Comes up to the neutral zone with it, into the Bear territory. In the corner now. Puck bounces out front. Carson gets there, cleared away by the Bears. McLean keeps it in the zone. Follows it up, gets some help now from Marshfield. Marshfield pass out front, can't get a shot. Puck goes in the corner. Carson follows it there. Keeps the pressure going around the other side. Back for Daniel, he chips up Carson. Back for McLean. McLean chips that into the St. Ben's territory. Puck comes in the zone, Crossway plays the body and gets the puck back. Up for Carson. Carson gets that cross ice for Marshfield into the zone. Marshfield gets taken out, puts the puck in front, gets some help from Carson. Now puck's cleared out by St. Ben's. Wiersbicki gets it behind the net, comes up the side with it, hands it off to Billard. Billard across, just out of the reach of Noble. 5:30.
The games are from 3 all the way to 10.
Okay.
It's like 3 half.
All right.
Senior,
Triple A.
novice, junior.
Yeah. Do it 5. I'll drop you off at 5:20.
Oh, okay.
All right, Noble gets the puck out of the zone, fires it around the boards. Judd chases afterwards. Gets it for Young. Tries to get the back to Judd. Comes around now for Noble. St. Ben's gets it out. It's over for Gilbert. Gilbert fires it up, but can't connect on the pass. Icing called. 11 minutes to go in regulation. 3-0 game. Can you see better from there? All right. Gilbert to Liam. Cross ice for Patrick. Into the zone, but now St. Ben's re-enters St. Charles territory. Gilbert to Young. He chips into the zone. Pressure from St. Charles. Puck goes out of bounds.
I know.
And it's back for Markovich. He gets a shot. Goalie kicks out the pad. St. Ben's fires it out of the zone. Cusinado picks it up for St. Ben's, gets it in the zone. His shot deflected out of bounds. Zone. St. Ben's picks it up, fires it up the boards. Markovich kicks it back in the zone. Pressure from Holden, gets some help from O'Kane. Puck comes out front. Picked up by St. Ben's. They turn and head out with it. St. Ben's with the puck, get it back to the blue line. Dump it down low. In comes Markovich. He's got a battle going on. Gets some help from McLean. McLean to Holden. Holden off the boards for Larsh. He missed that one though. It's back for Markovich. Kane chips it up. It's knocked back in the zone. Markovich to McLean. And now Larsh gets the puck out of the zone. He's got his neck guard flapping in the wind. Holden helping him out in the corner. Larsh gets a puck. Works out front for O'Kane. O'Kane gets a shot. Big save from the goalie. Puck's back in our zone. Wiersbicky takes it behind the net, reverses, chips up for Billard. Billard to Marshfield. Marshfield into the zone. Tries to get that out front. The goalie stops that pass. And then St. Ben's gets it back up to the neutral zone. Haslam gets the puck into the zone for St. Ben's. He passes it out front. Intercepted. Now Carson heads the other way with it. Carson gets in, pass out front, can't get a shot. Puck goes in the corner. St. Ben's fires it out. Shipped into the zone, on net, cleared away. Now Wiersbicky has to hustle after it, take it behind the net for Daniel. Daniel, cross ice. to Cousinado for the Bears. Cousinado on the sidewall. Works it out front. Can't connect. Carson gets the puck out for Billard. Billard for Noble. Noble into the corner. Out comes Pelche, but in comes Carson. Carson in the neutral zone, a little trouble. Now Gilbert with the puck, coming up the side, chips up the boards. St. Ben's gets it back in. St. Ben's gets in the zone, puck cleared out by Markowicz. That's going to go all the way down for an icing. 7 minutes to go in regulation. 3-0 Cards. Liam gets the puck in the zone off the draw, gets a shot off the goalie's side, falls it behind the net. Gilbert gets a piece of it. St. Ben's re-enters our zone, their shot, either off the glove or wide. Puck comes out, Judd to Gilbert. Gilbert to Young, back to Judd. Cross in front, gets punched in the head. Wow. 19 with a couple head contacts today. Wow. All right, Judd gets the puck, chips it across into the zone. Larsh after it. Larsh behind the net. Gets out in front for Noble. Shot just wide. Puck comes up the side. Larsh is there to keep it in. Now St. Ben's gets it out. Five and a half minutes to go. Puck's back to the blue line. Shot goes wide. O'Kane works it on the side. Gets some help from Crossway. Kept it at the blue line. That shot misses. Holden chips it off the glass. St. Ben sends it back in. McLean behind the net. Crossway up the boards now for Holden. Holden chips it up center. Larsh to O'Kane. O'Kane's shot deflected into the corner. Larsh back for McLean. His shot on net. Save is made. O'Kane gets the rebound. Works it out front. Bounces over some sticks, and St. Ben's heads the other way. 3-on-2. We got back checkers though. 3-on-3. McLean blocks the pass. Chips it up now, and O'Kane sends it back for McLean. Up for Holden. Cross ice for McCain. Back into St. Ben's zone. Cleared out by St. Ben's. Crossweight. Takes it behind the net. He's going for a little skate. Coming up the side. Into the corner now. St. Ben's though gets the puck back. Chips it up the boards. Back for McLean. Andrew off the boards for Carson. Carson gets it in the zone. Carson's still keeping it going. It's back now for Daniel. He gets a shot through traffic off the post. Maybe the side of the net. Couldn't see. Now the puck goes off the top of the glass. Stays in bounds. Gets chipped out. Back check from Carson. Now in comes Cousinado to keep the puck in the zone. Now it's up for Billard. Over for Marshfield. Cross for Billard. Now, where's Bicky takes it in his own. Fires out on net. The goalie sends it away. Good shot from Marshfield. Save is made. Behind the net, pass out front to Noble. Big save. Noble in front for Judd, his shot blocked. Puck chipped up. There you go, Judd chips it into the zone. Oh, it's in! Wow. I think that was through the 5-hole maybe. 19 just couldn't keep up with him. 4-0. Off the draw, Judd gets it back in the zone. The corner, sends it back to the blue line. Mark Rich keeps it in. Now it sneaks over the blue line into the zone for save from McCann. Noble over for Judd. Judd has it. Whistle goes. Both these guys are going to the box. Off the draw, puck comes in the zone. Pass over to Cusinado, shot deflected away. Crossway at the boards. Judd knocks it out of the zone. They get it in the zone on side. Cross ice pass to Pelche. Now Young across to Judd. Puck's in the corner. Noble picks it up, sends it down low for Liam. Liam puts it up front for Young. Young back out front. It's over for Crossway now. Daniel walks in, gets a backhand shot blocked. St. Ben's heads the other way with it. Minute left in regulation. Shot on net. McCann makes a save. Holden chips up in the zone. O'Kane gets it all alone in front. Big save from the goalie after a little tuck in. Back to the blue line. Where's Mickey's shot on net? Held on to. Yeah. Like U9. And off the draw, puck's behind the net. Shipped up by St. Ben's. They head up through the neutral zone. Get into St. Charles territory. Drop pass, cross ice pass. Can't get a shot though. And Wiersbicky chips it up, but not out. 30 seconds left in regulation. Wiersbicky works up the boards to Holden. Holden to Larsh. Getting some help. Loose puck. cleared out by Rearsbicky. It's going to be icing. Nope, goalies. I don't know why they didn't call that, but that's okay with me. 10 seconds to go in the game. O'Kane to Holden, his shot out of bounds. 4 seconds left in a 4-0 game. Off the draw, we get it over, it's some feet, and that's going to be the end. Thanks for tuning in. 4-0 St. Charles.